Hi and welcome to the video that I never wanted to make. It's actually a re-recording of the front of the video because in the original I got a bit ranty. But the long and the short of it is the Marlin's up for sale. It's not been an easy decision. It's been a decision that I've been trying to avoid for a significant amount of time, but I do think it's the right decision. At the end of the video, come back to me here and I'll explain exactly why. I said if anybody, again as mentioned a few times in the video, if anybody is interested in buying the Marlin, email me at g906bad@gmail.com. Don't comment on the video saying, oh, I'd like to buy it, because I'm not going to respond to that, because if you're really interested you need to email me. Please only email me if you've genuinely got the time and the funds to take on a project like this. I don't want to sell it to somebody who's going to leave it sat to rot away. I don't want to sell it to somebody who's just going to scrap it. I can do that. I could scrap it if it comes to it, and I'd much rather that doesn't happen. I'm not willing to give the truck away. The truck owes me, not including storage and time, well in excess of £20,000. I'm not expecting that sort of money for it. I'm not asking that sort of money for it. I'm quite flexible on the pricing. It will be above scrap value, that's for certain, because to avoid people buying it just to scrap it. But I've got a figure in my head that I would like, but I'm only willing to discuss that with people that are genuinely interested, and I feel that can genuinely take this project on. If you're all excited to be able to tell me that I was an idiot and I've done things wrong, or tell me how I should have done things, good for you for having those opinions. I've got my own opinions on it. Won't say I didn't make mistakes, but I'm afraid under these circumstances, please keep them to yourself. I'm not interested in having an email to tell me, and I'm certainly not interested in reading them in the comments, and it's quite possible I'll just delete them. So I don't want to be too rude or negative, because I've had fantastic support from the people watching this channel over the past nearly 6 years. I'm making the decision because it's the right decision to make, not because I'm happy about making it. I'll come back to you at the end of the video and I'll explain exactly why I've come to this decision. Right, it looks worse than it is at the moment because everything's grown. We've just had some rain. Obviously cab's all stripped out. The floor's absolutely shot in these places, but it is all plate and box section and angle iron, so it's not actually terrible. If you can do a bit of fabricating and you've got some metal lying around, it's probably a few days work. Putting the dashboard in is going to be harder, but I've got a load of information of where the wire, what I've dewired. I've got a lot of the information to rewire it, which obviously would go with the truck. There's no seats or anything in here at the moment. I know people think I was stupid for taking the matting off the floor, but you couldn't get to that without it. So it will need new matting, it will need new carpet on the roof, but again you can't get any of that off without ripping it, so that's the way it is. I've got the other three seats for it. Obviously everything that was on this truck when I got it is going with the truck, and the other bits and pieces, the few bits and pieces I've collected, are going to go along. The panel for there is, there's a foam valve in the lock at the side there that's all fractured because it looks like it's corroded and frozen up at some time. I've got a new one of those, or a good second hand one of those. I've got a new joystick. The beacon that was on it, or the light bar that was on it when I got it, I've got that. It is in pieces at the moment. All the bits that go with it, and I've got a brand new set of lenses for it, and they were custom, so yeah, there's that. I've got a gearbox manual for it, which is, let's face it, you won't find one of those on eBay. It's a downloadable PDF that I've got. I think I've got a printout of it, so that'll go with it. My plans are not this weekend because I'm not around. Next weekend I'm going to bolt. My plan is to bolt the steering column back in, put the steering wheel back on it, put the air tanks back on it, and I'm going to investigate whether I can reconnect the gearbox controller, because if we can steer it and stop it, although only the front axle brakes work currently, if we can steer it and stop it, it's easier to move. When we pull it out of where it's parked, if I can get the gearbox controller in, she'll drive out from where she's parked. Just jumping back to the brakes, I've rebuilt the front 2 master cylinders on it, because each wheel has its own master cylinder, which you can see there's one of the front ones down there. I've got the seals for the other 4 master cylinders, so I've got seals for them, but they just need doing and they need new pipes. The glass that's missing out the cab here, I've got both of those, they're not broken. I've got the door lock for this side, the door lock for the other side is broken in pieces, so that's not with it. Obviously headlights and everything I've got. There's the front panel that goes on here. Down under that side is a step from this side with the water sprayer on it. What else have I got? I've got flashing lights for the roof because I bought those before I realised how bad it was. If you go back through the videos, or some of the last videos I put out, you'll see that the engine was running. The other week and started really nicely. Oh, I've got a brand new fuel primer for it, although it doesn't seem to need that now. I fixed the old one. It looks bad at the moment because it's a bit green. I could have washed it, but then, well, I don't want to hide anything from anybody. This is how it's sat currently, so yeah. It's got 4 batteries on there. Well, we'll charge them out. They probably won't charge in, but it does have 4 batteries on it. I'm going to try and scrabble back around the other side and show you the other side of it. Most of the lights on the actual outside of the vehicle are intact. They didn't all work when I got it, and they still don't all work now. There is a broken light on the other side, but they're still readily available. Basically, water cannon, the hydraulics were all working on that, other than the open and close, but that's, the joystick wasn't as bust, so it's connected. The trim that goes around the windscreen, the top piece and the piece on this side are missing, and the bottom piece, I've got those. They're not actually missing, they're just not fitted. There's various bits of trim. Like I said, I've got nearly everything that came off it, other than the matting, the roof carpet, and the door lock for this door. There's BCF gear inside there. That's all still there. It's the decommissioned charger, and that's all there still. That's the broken marker light. So hopefully that's given you a bit of a look round. One thing that I think I forgot to mention in the video was that obviously the windscreen has got a crack in it. It's also delaminating. It was delaminated when I got it, but I put a crack in it. If you've watched the videos, you'll know all about that. The windscreen is available from Pilkingtons. They've still got the patents for them. They're classified by them as a restricted sale because the design of the windscreen is owned by Bowtons. But I have spoken to Bowtons at the time. I've spoken to them since. They aren't interested in supplying parts for the Marlin, but they're more than happy to write a letter of authorization to allow me, but to allow whoever's got the Marlin to get a windscreen if you did want to change it. It's possible the windscreen's got to come out, and if it does come out, it's going to be a real pain to try to get it out without completely breaking it anyway. But moving on to the whys, there's a number of reasons. One of them is it was never meant to be a project that went on this long. Things were very different for me in 2019. Wasn't a good year, but again, you'll know that if you've watched some of the videos. I was on gardening leave for redundancy when I bought it, but I expected in early 2020 to be going back into a job similar to what I was doing, which was a fairly well paid job for the sort of things that I do, and I would have had plenty of free money to spend on the truck. Obviously COVID happened, that derailed everybody's plans, not just mine, and then obviously I started my own business, which since we chose to close down, but that meant there wasn't spare money and very rarely spare time. I'm now working for a company where I've got the spare time. Enjoy the job thoroughly, really happy there. There's a lot less stress, but I'm on quite a bit less than I was in 2019. I can live off it, I'm quite happy living off it, but again, there isn't the free money there, not the sort of free money that I need for the Marlin. So that's one thing. Another one is the storage of it. The area of the yard it's in at the moment, the plans to bring that area back into routine use, and it's slap bang in the middle, so it needs to move. It needs to move somewhere else on the farm at a minimum. My landlord has said that he wants to increase the amount of money that I'm paying, because for the space I'm using, he could charge that space out to somebody for significantly more than I'm paying. He wants to bring it in line with a more reasonable rent, and he's been very, very kind over the years, and I've been very lucky to keep it there for what I've kept it there for this long. I should have got on top of that, sort of things out properly before now, but I haven't. Put my head in the sand. And the honesty is, if I can't afford to move it anywhere else, it's going to be hundreds, if not £1,000 to move it to somewhere else that I'll have to pay significantly more to keep it at. So in reality, I could pay what he wants me, he said the rent would go up to. I could pay that. That means there's definitely going to be no money in the pot to do any work on the truck. And the truck, in my opinion, does need saving. I believe it's the first ever airport fire truck to have the curved front that all of them now have. Because a lot of people think it was the Rosenbauer, but the Marlin was 2 years old when the Rosenbauer was released. And it's quite an interesting part of British engineering and British aviation firefighting history. It's quite a funny little thing in that. So I do think it needs to be saved. I've had to accept the fact I'm not the person to save it. So that's another reason. It's me wanting to keep it and own it is obviously a reason to keep and own it. But I'd rather see it restored by somebody rather than me just watch it rust into the ground and pay money to watch it rust into the ground, which is what's happening. And the other one is I'm getting older. Bought it 5, nearly 6 years ago. I really thought it'd be. I didn't realise the condition it was in, and that's no reflection on the guy I bought it off of. It was sold as seen. I was given every opportunity to look over it, but there were things that were hidden, and you couldn't see without taking bits apart. And I actually genuinely think he thought it was in the condition that he described it to me as. And when I looked at it, it seemed to be. When we started going into things, once we got it back, we started finding more and more rust. And I'm not great with welding. That's one of the few downfalls of my skill set. So that's not necessarily been something I've been keen to get involved with. Even though I know that needs to be done, and done sooner rather than later. And it's, yeah. So the last bit of the reason is my health. Really. So I stress about that truck far more than is good for me. I stress that I'm not there working on it. I'm stressed I haven't got the money to spend on it. I stress that it's getting in worse condition. I stress that I feel it should be saved, and I'm not able to be doing that at the moment. If I win the lottery tonight, then this video will be a moot point, because if I win millions on the lottery, I'll be getting somebody in to do it for me. Yeah, so it's also, yeah, I've got a few little niggly health problems, nothing major, but it does make my life difficult at times. And I suspect they won't go away. Hopefully they won't get worse, but they won't go away. And it makes it harder for me to do things when I do have the time. Sometimes not. I know my dad watches these videos, and now he's going to be probably worrying about me, but it's all things you know about Dad, so don't worry about that. And oh, there was another one. Oh, that was it. It's very difficult to do it all on my own. It's too big a project to do on my own. It's too big a project to... Parts of the truck are just too big to work on your own. Sometimes even doing bits on the engine, climbing up, climbing down, climbing up, climbing down, it's absolutely killing. You spend half your time climbing. Now, people have mentioned before about working groups. I've always been a bit cagey about volunteers and working groups. There's two reasons behind that. One is I've always been slightly worried about if it's somebody you don't know, are they actually capable of doing what they say they are? If they hurt themselves, am I going to be responsible? If they cock something up on the truck that's going to cost me a fortune to put right, is that a thing? These things are all possibilities. The people that came volunteering to come and help might have been the best mechanics, far better than me, but I just don't know. The other one is, it is in a private farmyard, and the farmer is not keen on strangers coming and going, which is fair enough. So I've always been to keep on his good side, because he has been good to me over the years, very good to me. He still is very good to me. Helps me out with things. I really don't want to upset him and get on his bad side, which is common sense. So that's sort of all the reasoning behind it. Again, yeah, the truck's for sale. It's for sale for less than it owes me, significantly less than it owes me, but it is for sale for more than the scrap value. So I'm willing to talk numbers with people in person or over the phone or over email if they are genuinely interested and genuinely able to take the project on. I know there's a few people out there that could take on a project like this. Whether they'd want to is a different matter. Now I've sort of gone a bit more public with the fact that it's up for sale. I am going to start the next week or two trying to put an email together and send it to a number of people. I think if they aren't interested, they might know people that are. So this has gone on longer than the original video, which I hadn't meant it to, the original video that I recorded. But I'd just like to say to everybody that supported the project and sent a nice message and watched a video or whatever, or bought a keyring, we tried raising money with the key rings, or donated to the GoFundMe that we did a few years ago. Actually, I'll just mention the GoFundMe. The GoFundMe raised a couple £100, and that couple £100 was spent on parts that they've either been fitted or they will be going with the Marlin to be fitted when it's sold. So just, yeah, that's the GoFundMe. But yeah, anyone who has supported me, watched the video, thank you very much. I very much enjoyed doing the channel. It's been very difficult at times, it's been stressful, it was a millstone until at times, but mostly it's been good fun. I do like making videos. I might start a new channel doing bits with the Land Rover and the Marshall and other things I get involved with, not just mechanics and things, but I haven't decided yet. This is likely to be the last video on this channel unless I get that lottery win and we do restore the Marlin. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I probably won't see you next time, so cheerio and toodle pip.